So this is our basement.
All right.
We've been here about 15 years, and we've done nothing to our basement at this point. But as you can see, previous owners have. We're at a point, though, where the mortar is starting to crumble. We get little piles of mortar along the floor.
Right.
And the big thing is, when it rains, a lot of times we'll get water in the basement. And if you look around in here, you can see water actually runs right down the stones.
Right, yeah, I can kind of see the streaks. So what you have here is very typical. It's a Fieldstone foundation, and these stones that are in the foundation literally come out of the floor here. Once they dug them up, if they had a big one, you can see big ones that are now nice and low. This is actually a great example. But that's how they start at the base of the foundation. They use the big stones. They start to get a little bit smaller as you climb up. That's just to ensure that they get a nice level area to use this brick, and then when the brick goes up, the sill will sit flat on top of that and we'll get a level house. But just looking at the stone, everything looks great, fairly consistent. Is there a spot that's worse off than, say, another in the area?
There is, right down here. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I can see mortar crumbling, a little bit of insulation.
Spray foam.
Yeah, this is actually almost ready to go. It's going to be a great place to repoint. And when these stones were laid, believe it or not, they were actually dry laid.
Really?
Yeah, they would use a little bit just to balance a stone here and there.
Really?
But, yeah, but most of the stuff that you're looking at is kind of defensive. Back in the day, the builders had a great sense of what we call water management, was basically keeping the water away from the house. If you and I go outside, I can show you a couple tricks.
That'd be great.
All right, let's go. Oh, all right, so plants up against the house. Back when the house was built, I guarantee there was no plantings here. Their roots can act as a wick or a conduit right to the foundation. Now, this one is probably too close to the house, and that may have an effect. This bush right here is actually far enough away that it doesn't concern me. I'm really worried about, say, a tree. So if someone planted a tree close to the house, that's got some powerful roots. It takes up space in the grade, which again would allow water, a least path of resistance, to carry it to the foundation.
Okay.
So other problems, the gutters on the house?
We do, all the way around.
Oh yeah, great. So a couple things about the gutters. You run the gutter all the way down, you hit a downspout with it. You have to make sure that you're dumping the water in a great area, which you guys are. I like that. Another thing you're doing that's great is you're dumping the water into a pipe, so that'll carry the water away from the house. What you have right here is a missing collar, and that's a problem because leaves get into that cavity, they'll eventually clog it up. The water will work its way back out, hit this area, and again, the first time we went down to the basement, so the bottom of the stairs, that's where we saw the damage, right?
It's right on the other side of
So
that.
correlation is everything. But as I move down and I take a little look here, this concrete apron, that's perfect. Sloping away from the house, so the water's running away. That's what we love. But again, the second part of having good gutters is maintenance. So when I look at this one, right, what do I say?
I know, it pops out all the time.
It pops out all the time. So this is actually a very easy fix. Just take a gutter screw and put these two back together. On this end, you do have the collar, which you can see what I mean when I was talking about how the leaves get down there.
Yep.
This is not going to let that happen. And again, we're always using correlation, right? We have a water problem right here. Where's the damage? Right? I can see the dry event right behind me, so I know we're in the same area that we were when we were in the house. Often people see water in the basement and they think, wow, I got to call a mason. It's not always the case. A lot of the times it's water management.
That makes perfect sense.
I'm going to leave you with some homework, which is just going to be to tighten up these gutters and go from there. What we do want to do, though, is go back inside and fix the damage that's already occurred.
Okay, sounds
All right,
great.
Let's go. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually wet down all the existing masonry that we see, just to keep the dust down that we're about to create.
I don't think we're going to need any tools here.
Right. All right, let's start by pulling out the mortar. Don't worry if any of the small stones fall out, because we can put those back in. If the big ones fall out, we're going to be concerned about that. We're going to want to get them right back in. When we have everything thoroughly cleaned out, we're going to take a wet brush again, and we're going to get into all the nooks and crannies and get all the loose, dusty material off the stones. And that way, when we do get to repointing, we can feel good about the mortar sticking to the stones. All right, now that we've done a good job cleaning out the old mortar, we're going to mix the new stuff. This is what we call a type N. We're going to use a type N, which is a little less strong than a type S. A lot of people want to use the type S mortar because it's stronger. We want to use the type N mortar because it's a little softer and it's going to allow the Fieldstone foundation to move a little bit. Okay, so we've now prepared our mix. The last thing I want to do for the mix is add a bonding agent, and this is going to help the mortar stick to the stone. Great. Yep, now just push it in. That's it. Now that you've got a bed joint down, see if you can fit a small stone in. Oh, very good, Betsy. You're a stonemason. Nice
It's like
job.
working with a puzzle.
Exactly. So just fill the mortar in around that.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be flush with the stones at all?
Not at this point. What you're trying to do right now is just stuff the back of the stone so we make sure we have a full cavity.
Got it.
And then later we'll bring it out flush. And then just continue that entire process all the way across. No rhyme or reason to the stone, random. Betsy, you might want to push that in with the, yeah, exactly that side. There you go. Yeah, great. Now we're going to do the finishing touch, which is just a wet brush, and all that's going to do is bring the aggregate out of the mortar for us to see. And always look under the stones because that's a spot where the mortar is going to drip. And if you hit it with the brush, you'll knock it right up to the bottom side of a stone. Oh yeah. You see how you're taking the tool mark away?
Yeah.
With the brush? That's what we're trying to do as well. So that wasn't so hard.
Not at all, and it looks fantastic. To be honest, the reason why we haven't touched it in 15 years is that it just seems so overwhelming to us, and it really wasn't that bad at all.
Right, so now that you have the technique, you can just go down the wall a couple feet at a time, get all the way around, then you'll have it done. But the most important part, as discussed before, is just make sure those gutters are fixed, operating properly, and all the grade around the house has to be sloped away from the house. Other than that, you're going to be great.
That sounds fantastic. Thanks
All
so
right.
much.
You got it, Betsy.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Mark, it's nice to see you put the tools in the homeowner's hands. She did a nice job.
She was great. She was very enthusiastic and went right at it, as you saw.
And as it turns out, it wasn't even so much about the masonry. It was mostly about the water management.
Right. So I get a ton of calls all the time about I have water in my basement. The first thing I think of is it's coming in. Let's stop it from coming in.
Right.
But people spend thousands of dollars on their mason. They patch up the foundation. The water makes its way through, and they still have the problem.
Because they never address where the water's coming from.
They never address where it's coming from.
Well, I can't tell you how many people tell me, can we take the gutters off my house? I don't want to clean them. But they don't realize how important that gutter is for along the side of the house. But I did notice in that back corner by the bulkhead outside, you could see how the soil had really come down low.
You could.
That all has to get built back up so it can pitch away from the house.
Right.
And then they call the landscaper. I mean, that's really, water management's the first thing you think of when you're designing something.
Right.
Where is it going to go? So maybe bringing that grade back up and throwing in a perforated pipe.
They did have the pipe in place already, but again, the grade is still too low. So if it's not one problem, it's another.
Right.
Right.
And what about the foundation plantings, Jen? I mean, what are you thinking about in terms of species, or more importantly, location?
Location, they should definitely be at least 3 feet off the house, right?
I would. There's a couple things to think about. We're always preaching the right plant in the right place. Here, I want you to have enough room to be able to walk between the house and the hedges or the greens, whatever is there, so that you can get through, number one, do maintenance, but number two, get in there and let that foundation dry out.
Really?
Mother Nature hates a void. She'll keep it wet in there, and sooner or later, the rocks will pop.
Right. Totally agree.
All right, well, let's hope we got the problem fixed.
All right.
Nice job.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.